Hi, and welcome to the channel. Glad you could be here. And this is my first live stream, so I'm testing all the software, making sure that everything works, making sure that all my views are working and my feedback is working. So I kind of did this impromptu, just wanted to kind of get it out there and get the channel on a proper launch. I talk a lot, especially my first video, is about just do it. Just get out on YouTube and make it happen. Every one of us can do this, whether it's faceless or it's not faceless or whatnot. And what I'm referring to specifically here is just go out and make your first video, get it out, make it happen, and then it's kind of a little easier after that, because once you get that first video done, uh, it makes it easier to get over that anxiety of is it going to be perfect, is it going to be this, and it's never really going to be perfect. So don't 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 worry about it. It's really not super important that it's perfect the first time out. And so that's why I just decided, instead of planning this out and scheduling it a week out and doing all this run up to it, that I was just going to do it and get it over with. And that way, if I when I schedule the next one, it's that much easier. Now, for those of you who don't know me, let me give you a little bit of an introduction, tell you a little bit about a story about myself, and kind of give you an idea of where I'm coming from and why I started this channel, and how I hope that this channel can help you as much as YouTube has helped me. Um, so I started back several months ago, and actually I'm going to go back a few years, because several years ago I was playing a game, and in this game there was a couple of us that used to post YouTube videos about the game. I had no idea what I was doing other than just sharing the YouTube videos with friends, and I really wasn't paying attention to the details of how to properly build a YouTube channel that can get monetized and really help people. And what I really didn't realize is I had always had the knack for being able to help people. I always wanted to be, first at the front of the class and showing people how to do things and stuff like that. I didn't want to so much do the schoolwork type stuff, but I did want to do the if there was something that needed to be shown to people, to do that. So, and of course, at any point, if any of you have any questions, just put them in the comments below. If you're watching on our recording, put it in the comments below. If you're live, feel free to put it in the thing in the chat box below, or chat box on the side, I guess it is, and I'll be glad to get to it. I think I have it all working where I can get to it. So we'll see when we get there. But I spent probably a couple of years playing this game, posting random videos. Really didn't know what I was doing. And then a few years later happened. And last year, or the year, a little over a year ago, I got heavily involved in solar. I was doing DIY solar. I had an installation, professionally installed solar system on my home done. And I learned that creating that doing solar was very fun, but it wasn't fulfilling in the sense that I really didn't get to show anyone what I was doing. And oftentimes I would be talking to my wife and telling her about the solar system, and she'd be like, here, you know call one of your friends from Texas where you moved from and talk to them, or do something along those lines to get it out, to be able to talk about it. So I decided at that point that I needed to find some out for this, and so I started seeking out and looking for places that dealt with solar, and how it was, how I could get involved. And I got involved in a couple of communities, a couple of forums online, but it still wasn't enough for me. I still felt unfulfilled. I still felt like there was something in me I needed to get out. And I'm quite sure that a lot of you feel the same way, or you probably wouldn't be looking at starting a YouTube channel. Whether for me it was solar, it could have been cooking and showing recipes. It could be showing my new fishing reel or my new boat, or my new RV, or my new construction, how to build a shed video, or any of these type of things. So I felt strongly that I really needed to share my experience with other people. I went on one of the groups that I was chatting with online, and I posted a couple of as I was building a battery, a DIY battery for my solar system. I posted a couple of videos about it, kind of like I used to do in the old days for the game I was playing. Um, and I had a lot of interest online from that, where people were saying, "Oh, this is fantastic. Can you tell me more? Can you show me more?" And I realized right then and there that there was a real niche, and I'm going to use the keyword niche here, a real niche for this type of content for people, and that they really wanted me to show them what I was doing and how it worked, that they were interested in the battery I was building. They were interested in the solar system that I was setting up. They were interested in my configuration and my setup and my thing, because it helped them with theirs. And then they could go back and forth with questions. And this went on quite a bit. It wasn't until sometime later, I'm looking back at the calendar now, it's just under 3 months ago, where someone challenged me to start a YouTube channel and attempt to catch them on theirs, which I had no association with them prior to all of this. And they were just hitting 1 million subscribers, and it was like, hey, I wish there were other people around. And I'm like, well, challenge accepted. I had wanted to do it. I just hadn't taken that step. So I went out on YouTube just like you've probably done, and I did some searches for, how do I start a YouTube channel? How do I really get involved in this? Because at that point, I hadn't considered the fact that you could monetize the channel, and that there was an algorithm behind it. And so you can see that there is a series of events that occurred here. Now, I am an engineer by nature. I analyze, overanalyze, and rip apart the data in order to come to my conclusions and to make decisions usually. Um, and in this case, it was no different. So I spent really a couple of weeks watching and learning, like you're probably doing now, or if you're already started your channel, congratulations, that's wonderful, keep moving. All of us can do this. There is nothing with YouTube that is particularly special. And I want to make sure I make this point really clear, that when you first start, like for example, when you first start, I went out and I bought a camera, and I bought a microphone. I think it's right here on my lapel. I bought all kinds of cables and wires and stuff, and most of it isn't needed. Most of what you need is, you just need a phone like this one here, just a regular phone. And with this phone, you can record, you can broadcast, you can even live stream right off of your laptop. I could use the laptop camera. The only reason I'm using this camera as opposed to my laptop camera is that it gives me a much better angle. I can raise it up a little higher, and I can still work off of my computer screen and stuff down here. But this camera over here works just fine for what I'm doing. So I basically use this to create my shorts and to create a lot of the different videos. I put my phone on this, and you can just basically record with that. So you don't need, I think this is like $20, and I'll include a link for Amazon for this down below if you're interested in it. It is an affiliate link, so I'll, make, 15, 20 cents off of it. But and this is what it's all about. This is what YouTube is all about, is in getting involved in helping each other, and me showing you some of the shortcuts you can do. So one of those shortcuts is affiliate programs. I had Brooke, and I'll link to her channel below, that I want to say a special thank you to her, because it wasn't 3, 4 weeks ago that I was talking with her on her channel, and she was actually I was watching her live stream, and I probably should link to that also. So maybe I'll link to her live stream so you can see the actual episode. Um, but she basically told me, look, if you are uh, looking for affiliates and stuff like that, then instantly said, go do it. Don't wait. Just go do it. They're not going to come to you. Now, the thought had never crossed my mind. Now, as my channel gets larger, they're not going to come to you doesn't necessarily apply anymore, because they do swarm to you once you start hitting certain number of subscribers. But not for affiliate programs. So for Amazon, go out and apply. If you have an Amazon Prime account, all you have to do is apply, tell them what your channel is, and depending upon your size and everything, most likely you'll get approved, and then you'll be able to include links for simple things like this or other items that you use during your show to show people how you're doing it and what you're doing. Whether it is like this channel, a YouTube help, or whether it is something of some other nature. It doesn't really matter. In my DIY channel for solar, I basically include all kinds of links for tools and equipment and wires and connectors and all kinds of things that I'm using. So that one was that episode where she told me to take that step, pushed me into going out and monetizing before I'm monetized. Keep in mind that when you start to build a YouTube channel, it's about building an infrastructure and putting down a strong foundation to build on. And that infrastructure, as I'm beginning to learn also, is very important that you put down the affiliate program infrastructure so that you're automatically including those links and picking up those little sales here and there, because believe it or not, those will start to grow as your subscriber base grows, as your watch base grows, and you're going to want to make sure that you start to build that up. Also, an email list. You're going to want to start, have people subscribe to an email list, either for additional content or for this or that. That is your simple future method of marketing, of informing people that you've launched things, that your stuff has started, that all of that is done. Which reminds me, I haven't started my email list for this channel, as this channel only launched last week. Now, in my normal style, I am releasing almost daily at this point, because I want to build up. One of the pieces of that foundation is to build that base of videos that you have. Because let me put it in these terms. When you're talking about building a YouTube channel, if you walk into a store and there's one item on the shelf and you look over and it's not something you want to see, then you walk on and you go over the next store. Now, I'm thinking of this like let's say a flea market, or a swap shop, swap meet, or something like that. And so you're walking down to this swap meet, and you look over at a table, and there's this YouTube video about fishing there. Now, if that YouTube video is something you want to watch, then great, you stop. And if that picture, that thumbnail that they've created to say, hey, here, on the side of the box it says, here's what this video is about. If that and the little description they put under it is enough to make you think, oh yeah, I've got a boat, I go fishing, that I want to see what that's all about, then you open it. But the problem is, just because you're a fisherman doesn't mean that that box you want to open. Now, if you walk up to the booth, if you're walking down through this flea market, through this, I'm going to call it a flea market for sake of a better, not having a better word. If you are walking through this flea market and you see dozens of boxes, and one of them has a picture of a fishing reel, and the other one has a fishing boat, and the other one has a picture of a lake, and another one has a picture of a guy holding a fish, and another one has a picture of a group of people out fishing, and another one has a comic picture of a dog being hooked and dragged in and hugged, and there are all these items about fishing. There's dozens of them. You're going to stop and you're going to look, and you're most likely, if you're a fisherman, if you're of the appropriate, and I'm going to use a word, persona, And all of these terms and all of this stuff that I'm talking about today are all videos that are part of my base of operation already. I've already released a half a dozen, maybe even a dozen videos of all the different things that you need to go through and all the things you need to do. And this is just one, uh, I'm just giving you a great detailed example of of the whole bundle here. So if you want more details on any of these, just go to the channel and start looking through. I've got a bunch of different playlists that break them down into categories for you, and all of the videos are very useful. So, but if you're walking through this flea market and you walk up, you instead of walking past this table, if this guy has a table with, half a dozen boxes sitting on it with, a whole bunch of different pictures and a whole bunch of different words, and then he's got a shelf behind him, and from floor to ceiling there's another, 30 or 40 different boxes, and they all have different items on them, and they're all broken up into categories of, these are fishing reels, and these are fishing boats, and these are fishing lures, and these are the ideal fishing times and dates, and all these different categories, and you're a fisherman, you can bet your bottom dollar that that fisherman is going to get stuck on that booth. And if he doesn't pick up and watch some of them, it would be very surprising. And this is how I look at my YouTube channel. I need, and when you hear the word consistency, okay, when you hear the word consistency, we're not talking about, well, we are talking about putting things out on a consistent basis. But that's not as important. Whether you put a video out every day, every 2 days, every 3 days, every 4 days, every 5 days, every 6 days, every 7 days, once every 2 weeks, once every month, there is some impact to doing it. And there is some formulas that make it more appropriate for certain channels and for other channels. So for example, if you've got a channel with a very high consumption rate where people are looking for content constantly, like a channel like this, you may be able to get away with every day or every other day, because our kind of people thrive on new information and want new content constantly to feed them and to keep them moving and to encourage them. So that is what what you would do for that type of channel. But if you have a DIY channel about going fishing, the chances are your fishing guy is not going to want to see a new fishing reel every day. He may want to see a new fishing reel once a month, and he may want to see a new fishing boat once every year, and he may want a video about cleaning the boat out every year, and he may want to think about winterizing it. But you're probably going to want to spread those out to more 4, 5, 6 days, maybe even once a week. But initially, I suggest that every new channel, and I was no exception. I made quite a few mistakes starting my second channel, and I knew better. I had circumstances that in hindsight, I see why I did it, but at the same time, I knew better. But stay stay with your niche, stay with your group, stick to your persona, whatever that persona is. Draw that box and stay within that box and say, these are the people I want to attract. Think of those people that are walking through that flea market of seeing all of your boxes on the table. If they were one of the people you wanted to attract, would you have enough boxes that there's no way they could walk past you without seeing something that they want to watch? And that's what it's all about right there. That is truly what doing YouTube's building up the basis for YouTube and the consistency of putting out those videos. So start with a lot of videos, get out your first dozen, I would say, as quickly as you can. If that's, once a day, great. If that's once every other day, great. If that's once a week, well, then it is what it is. Um, but also don't expect things to just blow up right off the bat. It's very rare that it happens. I got extremely lucky with my other channel, and it did blow up. This one is not blowing up. It is a much harder uh, uh, road for a channel like this, because there is so much content and so much competition that you truly have to build the base of your people. So in order to do that, there are a lot of things that I do. One, I stick with all the basic rules, get out all the right things, get to posting right away. Don't worry about being perfect. Don't spend a lot of money on expensive equipment. Don't um, look at what other people are doing and think that yours has to be exactly like that. Give your spin on this. I mean, I watch 3 or 4 different people on ways to improve. Along with Brooke, I watch Rick the Maritimer, the Maritimer. I watch a couple of other people also, and but I never at any point say I'm going to make a video that's a copy of that. I may say, wow, that is a really good idea, and I want to create something that's similar to that. And if I did, then I would still put my own twist. I wouldn't copy it word for word. But a lot of the times with YouTube, it's not just about the content. It's about a relationship with the person, the creator, and the consumer here. And that's the really important aspect, is that I have that passion to show you and to teach you what I know and to save you that time. Some people will like the way I do that, the way I explain things. They'll like my accent. They'll like my long ponytail hair. Or something other. And there's others that won't. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is what it is. People like certain things and people don't like certain things. Some people like this beautiful theatrical video, and some people like the more casual. I particularly like this green screen here because it allows me to create with a background of my own choosing. So, for example, I have, you see me from the river practically every morning. So if I turn on my river view, this is what you normally see. Now, in my normal videos, it's real because I go out there in the morning and I actually broadcast from there. But this allows me to take my green screen, I think it's this one, and turn it into a video with a nice background, and to basically give you a better look and a better view. Now, do I have to do that? No, I don't have to do that. Uh, I do this because I also do a live stream from my other channel. So this allows me to reuse what I'm using on my other channel here. Now, on that channel, this weekend, my live stream is about I'm going to show a whole bunch of websites and a bunch of comments and feedback I got from people. So I needed a green screen in order to put that content on the screen. So that is what I am looking at here, and why I think it's important that you lay the foundation. And with that foundation, we talked about getting enough videos out. We talked about making sure that that you start posting right away. We talked about building that foundation of videos. We talked about a little bit about um, consistency. So the consistency piece on posting on a regular schedule is somewhat important, but even more important than that is when you define that box or that persona or that person that you want to look at your boxes as they walk by the table. When you define them, you need to make sure that you stay consistent to it, or your growth is going to be much harder. It will truly be a lot harder if you're switching around. And here's the reason why. So when YouTube starts to show your videos, and sometimes at first it can feel like they're never going to show your videos. And that's not true. What the algorithm is basically saying at this point is, look, I don't know who you are. And I've got to figure that out before I'm comfortable throwing a bunch of random videos in front of people. And so it takes a while for them to slowly fill out your videos and understand who your persona is. So the closer you stay to that, the more of the people that have the same type of viewer history of watching fishing videos that walk by your table and look at your videos, they start to say, hey, you know what? 10 people stopped at his table and watched a video, and all 10 of them have watched other videos about fishing in the last week. That's interesting. Maybe I should show this to more people with fishing videos. So they'll go out and they'll build a little pool of 100 or 10 or 1,000 people that watch fishing videos that have seen fishing videos in the last week, and they'll show it to them next time. And they'll start with your subscribers, because your subscribers can confirm that once your subscriber base starts to build up, those should all be people who've been watching fishing videos. And when they launch it to your subscribers, and let's say you have 50 subscribers, and 10 of those subscribers immediately go out and watch it, then they're going to be able to say, okay, that's 20% response rate from these guys. That means that if I go to another pool that's very similar, and this is the algorithm thinking here, when I go to another pool of very similar type people, I should be able to get a very similar type of response. So they'll run another test. Now, if those people respond, first of all, you'll get more subscribers, which that's good. But what will also happen is that the algorithm can start to fine tune those subscribers even further to get even better responses. So let's say that you're doing fishing videos about new fishing reels coming out on the market. And that's very, very niche. But if they learn that 8 out of 10 or 80% of the people that watch your videos not only watch fishing videos, but the majority of the time they're watching fishing videos about new equipment or new fishing reels. Now YouTube can say, instead of 30 or 40 or 20% watching these videos, I go to this group of people and 80% are likely to watch my videos. And that's where they start to fine tune this. And that's when you get that base rolled in and you start building that subscriber base. And this is really, really important aspect of building that base. And this is why you don't want random people signing up for your YouTube channel. You don't want friends, you don't want neighbors, you don't want anybody who's not organic. Because if let's say I got 20 subscribers, and just one is my mother, and my mother has never watched a fishing video in her life. But today, she watches my channel because I'm her son and she wants to support me. And she goes on there and she watches the whole video and she does it faithfully every day. Now, what is the algorithm to think? 5% of my viewers, assuming there's only one out of that, are not from my niche. They're just random people. So this makes it even that much more difficult for the algorithm to determine what your niche is and who they should go out and find, because they've got a pool of millions and millions of viewers. And they can go in there and they can extract the 2 or 3 or 4 or even 100,000 people to make a video viral for us. But they need to know who they are, because what they don't want to do is they don't want to take a pool of, let's just say that they've only got um, 1,000 views every day that they can give out. And they've got to make all of their money on that 1,000 views. And they share that money with all of their creators. So do you want them to find the highest likely people to respond to those 1,000 views, or do you want them to just give it to a random 1,000 people and hope that they work? Where we all know that standard advertising is extremely low percentages, 1%, 2%. You see that in your banner ads. So you see that in your thumbnail click-through rates. You see that in your response rates. So what you want to do is get that. And this is the advice that I'd given to a friend of mine who was working on a YouTube channel, which is rare to have a friend that's actually working in a YouTube channel. You kind of feel like your little private world, and I suggest you keep it that way. But I was working with him, and he was saying, how do you get your click-through rate so high? Because I've got some of them that are 16, 17%, and it's quite common I have 7 or 8%. And when it's under that, I get a little disappointed. Now, I have very high expectations. I hear that in my market, or my niche is just so well defined that I'm lucky in that sense, or maybe that's the key to my success. I don't know, but I go for the very high success rate. And when he asked me how I did it, I told him, I said, look, if that guy walks by my booth in the flea market and he sees a box and he has to do two things. I want two things to happen in his mind when he sees my box. The first thing that I want to happen in his mind is for him to say, wow, I like that. And the next thing needs to be a question of, well, I wonder if, and if he can't ask those two questions, if I being interested in it, or another persona, or my friend that I'm assuming watches the same content or whatnot, if he wouldn't have those two questions first, say, hey, I'm interested in that, and know exactly what that video is about. So for example, if it's a picture of a new fishing reel, you don't need words to tell them it's a new fishing reel. What you need is a cool picture of the new fishing reel with maybe the logo from the company on the side. And when they see that, they immediately say, oh, the new blah, blah, blah fishing reel. Or they say, hey, there's a blah, blah, blah fishing reel. I've never seen that one before. And then the tag below, I always use it to entice them of, holy cow, the new one's out. What in the world did they do to it? And now, in their mind, not only did they see that fishing reel without any words, and I would say limit it to 2, 3 words at the absolute most, and you'll see that most of mine have 1 word or 2 words at most. Occasionally, I go overboard and do some tests and try certain things because some content really needs it, but for the most part, stick with 1, 2 words. Let the image talk to them. Then in the description, raise the question in their mind of, but what, but what? And you want them to be able to ask that question by just looking at that image and then feed them the but what. But but what happened to XYZ company? Or how did they fit so much in this? Or when is it coming out? Or holy cow, they finally released it and it is, and stop with it is. And they're going to be, it is what? I have to click on it. You know, because they're responding to the image. They have the interest. The words do nothing but stir up the question of what they need, why they need to view your video. If they already knew it was out, then all they would do is just scroll right past. Oh yeah, there's a new reel. He's just going to repeat what the last guy said. But when you put the words in there, you're no longer repeating what the last guy said. You're raising the question of, and promising them that you're going to deliver something that they don't have. But you have to deliver. This can't be, and let me be very, very clear on this, this can't be a bait and switch. For example, you can't say, hey, learn how to make $1 million in 10 days, and then show them some crazy scheme where it's a 1,000,000,000 to 1 chance that they're going to make $1 million. If you make that claim like that, you need to deliver. This becomes building that base of people that you get along with and you have that personal interest with, and that they trust you and you trust them. Okay, so that I can't stress that enough. Do not do the bait and switch. Make the questions legitimate. Like the new fishing reel image, it's all beautiful, it's all sitting on a screen, it's you holding it, it's you maybe casting it or something like that. Now it's very clear what you're going to be talking about. And then underneath you say, I can't believe they did this. They did what? I gotta click. I got to know. I gotta know if the other guy told me about it. I gotta know if I missed something. That creates the nostalgia. Now, in that first 30 seconds of your video, you need to express to them that what they thought they were coming for is in the video. It's not the bait and switch. It's really there. So start that video off by saying something along the lines of, I know I know they couldn't have done this intentionally, but you aren't going to believe what they put into this fishing reel. Let's get into how this thing works, and I'll show you what they did here in a second. And then bust into the new fishing reel. Now they know when they've clicked on it immediately, seconds within clicking on it, that you're going to give them what they thought they were clicking on it for. And now they're going to stick around for it. And whether that answer comes 2 minutes later, 4 minutes later, 6 minutes later, it doesn't matter. As long as it's you're giving them what you promised during that time. You're explaining how you got there. You're making sure that they understand it. Don't just drag things out for the sake of dragging them out. Be concise, get to the point, but like I'm doing here, be thorough enough to where they feel like they've got the answers they were looking for when they started. And that's what it was. For example, today, the live stream, I put the word live up there. I put the thing of me holding the YouTube thing. It basically implies, hey, look, it's a live thing about holding and controlling YouTube. Now, I put some words across the bottom because I'm really new and most people wouldn't know who it is. And because it is truly a live stream and I wanted people to know it was a live stream. But that's the point that I'm trying to make here. Build the foundation on honesty, on passion, on consistency with your schedule, and consistency with the people that you're building it for, and the content bounds of the content. I get offers all the time to put things in my solar channel for awnings and for this and that. And to be honest with you, I've gotten to the point where, as much as I would like to do them, I'd love to get a new free awning for my RV just so that I could have it, and it's hundreds of dollars. I can't put that on my solar channel because it doesn't fit my persona. When people see my channel show up and they see my face in their feed because they subscribe to me, they need to know what they're going to get without ever stepping to going to the next stage. They shouldn't have to read the logo. They shouldn't have to look at the image. They should see my face and know this is what they're getting. And if you've subscribed to my channel and you're watching my YouTube, this feed here, you will know that every video I post in this subscription will pertain to YouTube, making your channel better, getting more subscribers, building the channel, how-to videos, how to edit for your channel, how to post for your channel, what flags to use for your channel, how you can do this without expensive equipment. You can do this without any experience. You can do this with what you have today if you make up your mind that's what you want to do. That's what this channel is going to be about, and that's what all of the content on this channel will be about. Now, does that mean I'm not going to do affiliate links like vidIQ? Absolutely not. I have a vidIQ affiliate link. I use vidIQ. I love vidIQ. I use it for helping me build thumbnails. I use it for doing investigations. I use it for checking on my competitors and watching what they're posting. I look at for breakout videos and statistics on them. It's a fantastic tool, and people ask me all the time, is it worth I think it's $19 a month that you pay for? And the answer is, heck yeah, it's worth every penny of it. And more. It does what a lot of the other more expensive tools do, but they're all bundled into one. So I use it. I like it. It just modifies my YouTube channel right on the screen for me so I can see those things. So I'm not saying that I won't do affiliate links. I'm saying they need to be appropriate for your channel and for your viewers and be helpful for you. So if you see my picture and you're subscribed, you can bet it pertains to you and that this is the channel and that this channel is about that and the video will be about that. There won't be any fluff. There'll be very, very rarely that I will post anything outside of those bounds. All right. I have blabbered on for a very, very long time. And I've gone a little off track. So I want to get back on track a little bit. So the idea here is to build the foundation, to make sure that you post enough videos to start getting those links. If you're getting 2 or 3 views a day off of one video, you're getting 2 or 3 views a day. If you're getting 2 or 3 views off of a library of 50 videos, you're getting 50, 100, 200 views a day. It becomes very easy to get monetized at 200 videos a day at 5 minutes a piece. So think of the numbers there, and I mean I can actually do the numbers if I can find where I've set my phone. Here it is. So if you've got 50 videos and you're only getting 2 watches a day and they're only watching for 5 minutes a piece, that means you got 50 times 2 times 5. You got 500 minutes a day. Divide that by 60, you got 8.3 hours a day. And this is not considering new content coming out where you get an inrush or anything like that. So if you get 8.3 hours a day and you need 4,000 hours, so we take 4,000 hours and divide it by 8.33, it's 480 days. And that's just from having a library that you've built that has none exploding, none doing very good when they first come out, none doing any of that. You got to remember, when a new video comes out after you have 50 videos and you start picking up subscribers, you'll put one out, you may get 400 or 500 views just like that. And if one breaks out, you may be looking at thousands of views. And if one goes viral, you may be looking at tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, even millions. So the trick is to start building this foundation, start posting that content. And then I want to go over one more very, very important piece of information that I think you really need to have right here starting off. And that is the idea that you should, and I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to say this. You should make sure that you're improving every day. And I want to say this in the right way. Let's say that you're making 50 videos. Don't blast through those 50 videos knowing that you're going to get that 6, 10, 12 hours a day and do nothing after every video. I am a firm believer in improvement every video. Someone said on one of the channels I was watching the other day that if you can improve 1% every video, that you'll be 100% better at the end of your first 100 videos. And that is absolutely true. I think a better way to look at it is, let's say that you could find 20 things wrong with your video. You go to your video, you watch it, you make a list. These are the 20 things I think are wrong. If you're fixing one item every video, make a better thumbnail, make a better description, make a better image, make my content smoother, whatever it happens to be, whatever those improvements are. If you're finding one that you can make better with every video, and then continuously do that going forward, find a way to do it and find a way to make that a permanent change. Then at the end of 20 videos, all those items are fixed. Now what do? Well, now you start getting more nitpicky and you go back to your videos and you start watching again. And I always rewatch my videos a week or a month after I've released them, because the things you see a month after you've released a video is amazing. And you keep this running list and you go into this list that every time you go to make a video and you say, what am I going to do to make this video I'm making today better than the video I made yesterday or the video I made last week or the video I made last month. Always getting better, because that compound interest will add up to more views than anything else you do. For example, let me give you an idea. Let's say you get to the 50 videos, and one of the first things you did, let's say on video 4 and video 5, you decided you wanted to make sure your thumbnail produced better. And let's say that you went from 3% on your thumbnail to 5% on your thumbnail. And that's all you did. Now, that means that what you used to get every 3 out of 100 people watching your video, now you're getting 5 out of every 100 people watching your video. That is, in essence, a 66% increase in all of your viewers for the life of your videos, for the life of all of your videos. And that means when you fix that on episode 3 or episode 4 or video 5, that it's also going to, you're going to have to maintain it for 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. Find that thing that works. And sometimes you'll try to fix things and it won't work. Sometimes you'll try. I mean, I've done this. I've had videos where I am just positive I have the right thumbnail. And I put it out and it just falls apart on me. So I go in there and I create, a whole slew of new videos. I pick a couple, I run a thumbnail test, and one of them just, and the rest of them all die. And I'm like, I can't believe that video. I knew that thumbnail was the right thumbnail and it don't work. Now I have other ones that I've got a decent eye for, and I look at them, and man, when I say this one's going to work, sometimes it works. So it's something you have to pay close attention to. Learn what your persona of people want. Now keep in mind, and this is really, really important, if the group of subscribers you have are the people that you want to watch your videos, then they're also the people that aren't watching your videos are the same people. And what does that mean? That means that the algorithm will find you more people as long as you stick to making these people happy. As long as that thumbnail works for your current subscriber base, it will work for your new subscriber base. And this is the piece that people try to overthink and overanalyze the algorithm. The algorithm isn't doing anything but looking at what people do. It looks at what your people watching your channel like, and goes and finds more people that like the same thing that those people like. So when someone tells you make content that your subscribers like, that's because in order to get more subscribers that like the same thing, you need to do the same thing you did to get the subscribers you have. But it has to be different enough to keep the subscribers you got watching it. So in essence, you end up with a twofold win as far as the algorithm is concerned. One, the image, the thumbnail, the title has to appeal to those people that are currently watching it. Meaning not only does it appeal to someone who's never seen you before, but it's fresh enough to appeal to the people who watch you every time you put out a video. And that's really important. So it needs to be fresh enough so you can when you hear the idea of do what works, and then if it works, do it again. No exaggeration. I had a series, a whole series on the solar shed, because I built a solar shed and I put a couple panels on it and the video blew up. So I started making more about solar shed, but I never repeated the same content. Don't make the same thing. Don't make it to where that viewer that's watching your channel every day says, this is just the same crap every day. I'm not watching this. You need to make sure that it's fresh enough for this viewer to do it, yet still appealing enough that he wants to do it. And that is all you need to know about the algorithm. Take care of these people, and the algorithm will go find those people and bring them to you in herds. That is how I have built what I built in my solar channel. That is how I plan to build what I have here. In my solar channel, I got extremely lucky and it just had a huge demand and it exploded. Here, it may not explode, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with taking the time, building it step by step, channel by channel, because I know that if I can make you a video that you want to watch, whether that be every other day, whether that be every week, whether that be every 3 days, whatever it ends up being for the schedule for this channel, that I know I will get more people just like you, and you are my ideal viewer. You are the people I want to attract. You are the person I want to click that subscribe button because I want other people just like you. I want to show other people who are looking to build a channel and want to understand and take some shortcuts and understand what they have to do, what equipment they need to buy, and all that kind of stuff. So um, I don't have no idea how long this has been going on. Oh, it's already 51 minutes already. Gosh, I was going to say I'm sorry, but actually I'm not. I think everything I said needed to be said. Um, anyway, I'm going to call it quits for today. Um, I don't know when I will be live streaming again. I'm hoping to do it again next Saturday also around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and we'll try it then and see how it works. I'm also guesting on over at oh my goodness, what is her name? Brooke Show this week. I will put a link to that so you can come visit me over there where I tell the whole world on her channel all the good things she did for me. And I want to again say thank you to her and thank you to all the other YouTube people that I watch. I will see if I can link a few of them down here in the channel below so that they know that I appreciate them. Rick from the Rick the Markheimer and Brian Johnson and Shantae. So there's 4 of them. I'll link all 4 of them, and they've all got different perspectives. That's a good thing in my mind. Getting a different perspective, understanding different ideas from different people, and somehow you always learn something new. That's the part that's important. So I hope you learned something new today. I hope that if it was valuable, that you give me a like, and if I earned it, give me a subscription. If I didn't, watch another video. Maybe I'll earn it there. Thanks for watching. You guys have a great day, and thank you for coming. Thank you.